Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Hardwood Nation podcast with your boy C.O. Anthony and my main man once again, Michael Franz. What is going on, bro?
It's another beautiful day, beautiful Sunday, getting ready for work, and had to hop on here with you. Happy Mother's Day to all the ladies out there. Hope this passes on, or if any ladies are watching it, happy Mother's Day. Hope you guys are enjoying your day. Hope you're enjoying your day as well. So, yeah.
Absolutely, thank you. Looks like Mike's working on a plate right there, but it's okay. Y'all send all plates and beverages to Michael, okay?
There you go. There you go.
Mike, we got some shit to get into. We've had some things happen in the last week. We've had 3 teams now advance to their respective conference finals. Your Los Angeles Lakers, congratulations, have dethroned the defending NBA champion Golden State Warriors. Mm-hmm. The Denver Nuggets ass raped the Phoenix Suns, and the Miami Heat shitted all over the New York Knicks.
Yes, sir.
I will give you credit. All season you said the Lakers would do what they're doing. All season you said the Lakers would be okay if they moved on from Russell Westbrook. Of course, I will never say anything bad about Russell Westbrook, but the trades that the Lakers made at the midpoint of the season were absolutely fantastic. You have the floor.
So, speaking of those moves, I appreciate the follow-up and the credit for it. Because it was a tough season all the way to the end, especially with Braun going out for like a month. Like things were in jeopardy. But the moves actually worked. I think the regular season, the move with D'Angelo Russell helped a little bit as far as the scoring portion goes. But I think the biggest move that they had as far as the receiving end was with Jared Vanderbilt. I love that kid. I think he's a beast on the defensive side. What was it? Rui Hachimura is actually starting to show out a little bit. So they're vibing well. Like that the whole thing that when we talked about Russell Westbrook and LeBron James is that they can't coexist because of the fact that they have to have the ball in their hand for as much time as they can. When you have that type of standard for 2 players to try and control the court, they can't be on the court at the same time. And that takes a superstar off of the court every single time, because when they were on together, it wasn't working. So now you have LeBron being able to control the court with a lot of role players that actually fit in very, very well for what he does. So the big story though is, AD, can you stay healthy, this, that, and the other, because there have been problems with it still. But they persevered, they got through it. I hope that they get to keep Jared Vanderbilt. I like D'Angelo Russell being back there. He fits fairly well. But, hey, we'll see what happens when it comes to these conference finals, because Denver's not going to be easy to get by. That's going to be a difficult challenge. But I am absolutely predicting a 2020 bubble rematch.
We're going to get there. We're going to get there in a minute, because people thought I was crazy, but we're going to get there. I've been meaning to say this the last few times that me and Bryce has recorded. I've been meaning to say I have never seen a player mature as much as I've seen D'Angelo Russell mature. He has been the driving force alongside of LeBron James and Anthony Davis to get the Lakers to where they are today. When the Lakers needed a big 3 in the fourth quarter, he absolutely came through and did that. I'm loving what I'm seeing out of D'Lo in his second go with the Lakers. And I've always liked him, but it just seems like his game is so much more refined right now. He's just in a perfect situation right now. I can't remember his contract situation right now, but I hope he's there for a few more years, because he's just going to get better and better and better with this team. Because I counted this team out. So like I said, kudos to you for sticking by your guns on this. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I appreciate that. I think there's a factor involved, though, that a lot of people look over, and that's Austin Reeves. That man is. It's funny because I was joking with a couple of my buddies about this. I'm like, every championship team that LeBron has been on, he's had a cold white boy on that team. Whether it be Mike Miller, whether it be Kevin Love, you know what I mean? Something like that. Or he had Kyle Korver going to the finals with him, like shooters, but Reeves is out there performing at an absolute monstrous level for his position on the defensive end and on the offensive end. Now,
right.
I think that the big thing that, I mean, yeah, they're vibing on the offensive side, but the overlooked stat that I see is that they're the number one defensive team in these playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
So defense wins championships. It proves it all the time. Defense wins championships, and we'll see what happens because they got the next round to go to.
Absolutely.
What up, Josh?
Whoa, hello. What's going on, guys? Mike, long time, buddy. How you been?
I know. Hey, been good, man. Miss you.
Yeah. What's going on? Hey, I'm just Sunday, Mother's Day. I'm gonna go by see the family later. But it is a good day so far. Got up, got to go and see what's going on. I appreciate you for having me on. And yeah, interesting playoffs going on. We got right. Some expected. I thought the Warriors would at least stick out one more game, but that's how that turned out. Austin Reeves, just to stay on that, I think he's just the benefactor. A lot of those players like D'Lo, Lonnie Walker, a lot of these guys are beneficiaries of just being in a pretty good system. D'Lo has matured for sure ever since first time in Lakers, Minnesota, and now here. I think he's probably going to stick around for a little bit with them. Austin Reeves, though, I think it's the same Caruso effect. I think he's just he's a really good player in a really good system for him. And I think if he goes anywhere else with that same talent, he's going to do pretty much not the same, but it's going to be the same deal with Caruso. I personally think. I think that's what that is there. But again, I think the Lakers are playing really well as far as supporting cast. I think the obvious expected LeBron and AD are doing what they're doing. AD is still sticking it in there health-wise. I think that's always been their determining factor, and it seems like it's working as of right now. But I think the supporting cast is doing its job to hold up their end, and that's what's kind of pushing them over the edge.
Got it. It's funny that you mentioned Caruso because Michael forgot to mention one of the whites for LeBron, which was Caruso.
we have a special guest on the show, guys.
Okay, what's up, special guest? Hello.
That's my mom back there.
Okay, what's up, mother? Happy Mother's Day. All right. So we had a shocker. I heard the rumors, but I didn't believe it, so I didn't run with it. But I was shocked that Monty Williams got fired last night.
Not me.
Not really. Honestly, it wasn't that big of a shocker.
They're gonna blow that up even more. Just wait. I got credit for the Lakers side. I'm gonna personally actually take credit for the Suns side because I said that they were gonna fail. This was gonna be something that was gonna blow up. This is why I'm not a Suns fan out here in Arizona. It's exactly why.
Yeah. Chris Paul is gone.
They're talking about trading Kevin Durant. Firing James
that's
Jones
not gonna happen.
Nobody's probably gonna take it because they're gonna have to demand so much.
Pennies and draft picks for him.
Yep. And James Jones is probably gonna get fired because that backfired in their face so far.
Wow. So you think they're going to clean up? Well, okay. So I did hear this about Phoenix. I did hear Isaiah Thomas is there.
I haven't heard any of that.
Isaiah Thomas
is actually Isaiah Thomas.
Isaiah Thomas is actually helping out the owner as a consultant and is moving his people into that front office. Oh yeah.
Well, that's fine because look what happened in New York when he was there. I don't know if it's going to be anything good, but whatever.
Yeah. I absolutely heard that last night. Yeah. Isaiah Thomas I guess he has a relationship with the owner. So yeah, this is wild. This is wild. What's going on in Phoenix?
Speaking of Matt Ishbia, that situation that happened with Jokic was absolutely ridiculous. That changed the whole trajectory of that game. That should have, in my opinion, been a delay of game on the Suns. Instead, it turned into a technical foul with Kevin Durant going to the line, which it stopped a possible 5-on-4 break for the Nuggets. So you're talking about like a 3-4 point swing and a technical foul on Jokic, changing momentum. They should have never lost a 53-point game by Jokic, but they did. And it started with that play itself. the NBA is absolutely ridiculous in calling some of these situations that are going on. And what I've noticed as well is a lot of these refs, there's a lot of them that are out here blowing the whistle after a shot is missed. You blow the whistle when the foul happens. If they make it, they make it. If they don't, they don't. But do not wait until the shot is missed. That's controlling the outcome of the game.
That's how you save yourself, right?
Mm-hmm. So my 2 cents on that.
So many. Look, in this Heat Knicks series, there were so many fouls called after the play. It was fucking ridiculous.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
It was absolutely disgusting. So I'm going to throw it to Josh. Josh, you got the stage. How surprised are you that the Miami Heat are in the conference finals?
As far as their playoff play, I'm not surprised by that because they've been playing high-level basketball throughout the playoffs. As far as where we're at before regular season playing tournament and then to see them now, yeah, it is kind of crazy to see the whole thing shake out. Again, I think it two completely different teams, especially now they're in a sense depleted in much needed rotational guys. Victor Oladipo going down, he's done for the year, and that was a major rotational piece. Tyler Hero, we're in a position now where he actually could come back now, and they're going to have some more much needed firepower because, again, he was a starter, and they went through I think the Bucks series is probably the biggest shocker of the whole thing. I don't think anything's going to top that unless they go to the championship and win. I think the Bucks thing is, in itself, like, all right, we're cool with this team again. If you want to run it back, go get I've always said this, go get yourself a big to help Bam because he's not a center. It is what it is. And then, honestly, I was on the point guard tip. I like Gabe. Kyle Lowry has been really good these playoffs, actually. So he surprised me. I didn't think he was going to hold that up. So, again, we'll see how far it goes. I would love to see it go the distance. But, again, I think a young point guard would probably be another priority after the fact. So that's probably what you're looking for as far as additional pieces. But the whole team as a whole is performing well, playing well together, and could actually go the distance. So it's definitely a shocker from the beginning. But now it's like, all right, we're back and playing high-level basketball. So keeping hopes up.
People thought I was crazy when I said that the Miami Heat could go to the conference finals. They thought I was crazy. But we're here now, right? We're here now.
It was kind of crazy early on.
No, it wasn't crazy. No, you gotta have
crazy.
faith, right? You gotta have faith.
It wasn't as crazy as saying the Lakers are going to be okay after 2-10.
That you know what? That might be it right there, actually.
But look, Jimmy Buckets is playing at a level like I think he's one of the most disrespected outside of Devin Booker, right?
Booker's trash. I'm done with him.
Whoa,
wait. That man got snubbed for multiple All-Stars. His first All-Star was as a reserve when he was playing at a very high level. And so in certain aspects, Devin Booker is probably the most overall disrespected.
He's the best two guard in the league.
So
Booker?
He's the best two guard in the league. There's no one better than Booker right now.
So
he's trash in elimination games.
Look.
That I can agree with. That I can agree with.
That's fine.
But
that's fine.
Any other time,
there's no other two guard that you're picking over Booker. There's none. Give me one. You can't.
I can't. I can't either. I can't.
I'm not.
But see, Jimmy Buckets is up there performing at a crazy level. 32, almost 33 points a game in the playoffs when he was averaging 26, 25 in the regular season. He has actually put the team on his back like Greg James.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's funny. I was sitting here having this conversation with a couple people. I'm like, yo, can we sit back and talk about how the Bulls failed with a prime Derrick Rose, Jimmy Butler, Joakim Noah?
Yeah.
Like, oh my gosh. What are we
That is crazy.
We'll just leave it there. Mm-hmm.
I mean, they didn't fail. They ran into some Miami Heat teams. I mean, they ran into some Miami Heat teams. Let's just be real now.
They ran into some LeBron teams. They ran into LeBron teams because they even lost to the Cavs.
Yeah.
They put teams together for LeBron. Didn't work
out. Here's my thing with Devin Booker. I love the kid, right? But as a player, you make your name in the playoffs. And he's failed in the playoffs every chance Phoenix had a moment to take the next step, and they needed Devin Booker. He's always failed. So this is the third year in a row that he's failed. So I'm just starting to look. 37 points in one game. That's cute. Do it in an elimination game.
Right.
Step the fuck up and do it then. Okay. So, like, for example, we're going to talk about Boston because they're tipping off right now. We're going to do some predictions for this game. Jason Tatum the other night saved his fucking career. He saved his career. 3 points going into the fourth quarter. Philly had kind of took control of that game, and then I'm not going to say he erupted because it's not an eruption when you end up with 19 points. But Tatum dropped 16 points in the fourth quarter and pushed the Celtics to the win. We need to see something like that or something similar like that from Devin Booker, okay? Because I hate Jason Tatum too. He's a fucking false prophet. The best player on that team is Jaylen Brown. But Devin Booker has not had a signature moment in the NBA yet. That 70-point game against Boston in the regular season, who gives a fuck? He hasn't had a signature moment in the NBA yet. And this is what, year 6 or year 7? We're still waiting.
What about when they were in the bubble? What was it, that buzzer beater shot that helped when he fell on the ground?
They went 0-8 in the bubble, but they didn't qualify for excuse me. They didn't qualify for the playoffs.
I mean, they got to the championship last year.
What did he do? What did he do?
It's an appearance. Yeah, no, I'm just saying it's just an appearance.
Right, it was an appearance.
It's something. He put something on there.
I mean, they let Giannis shit on them for 4 straight games. Do we remember anything? That's fine.
They appeared. That's it.
Do we remember anything that Devin Booker has ever done in the playoffs? Do we remember anything he's ever done?
No.
You can't pick one guard that you're picking over him. I'm sorry.
That's true.
There's no 2 guard you're picking over Booker.
Right. So is that more of a testament to his performance or the people around him as well? Because when he's going off, that man is the best on the court. When he's firing on all cylinders, that man is a scoring machine.
Try to tell you,
he's a scoring machine.
All that is cute. All that is cute, but it got your coach fired.
That's fine. That's okay. At the end of the day, if I'm Devin Booker, I know I'm the best shooting guard in the league. If they trade me wherever I go, I'm still gonna be the best shooting guard in the league. It's fine. I'm sorry.
Look, you put around him
the money's going.
You put around him a point guard that has never won a ring. Now, granted, I love CP3. He's often injured as well now. But then you've got Kevin Durant, who the only reason why Kevin Durant has 2 rings is because of those 3 other guys in Golden State. Otherwise, he would have never had 1 ring. Oh, right. Wow. So you're talking about multiple individuals that on a performance level are great at, let's say, scoring, but they can't get over that hump to get a ring on their own. So it's not just Booker. If we're going to talk about if we're going to talk about Booker this way, we got to talk about Kevin Durant the same way. Because Kevin Durant,
I have no problem talking about him.
Yeah, me either. I think he's a cupcake, just like Russell Westbrook called him. Yeah, straight up. Like, I am not a Kevin Durant fan. I love to have him on my squad because he can score, but I know I'm going to be missing out on probably a championship ring because they just can't get there. So it's not just Booker in this situation. You've got him surrounded by a bunch of people that still can't get over the hump as leaders. And Booker's only, 25, 26 years old anyway. Yep. He still has like 10 years left in the league.
Failure? You think there's a lack of leadership on that team overall?
Absolutely. Because if there wasn't a lack of leadership, DeAndre Ayton wouldn't be playing as soft as he is either. Someone would have said, yo, wake the fuck up.
Yeah.
Get out there, embody the paint, bro. Mm-hmm. And nobody is there doing that. Nobody. They don't have leadership on that squad at all.
I think Monty tried to do that with Ayton, though. So as far as the other players, I would say, because I've seen Chris Paul have conversations with him, so I think Monty and Chris Paul have had conversations with him. Kevin Durant just got there, so I don't know if he's had any conversations with Ayton, and I'm not sure if Booker's had any conversation with Ayton. But they're probably going to move on from Paul and Ayton from what I'm hearing right now.
Yep.
And that'll clear up actually a boatload of cap space so they could go back and rebuild around Booker and Durant. So I think that's the move that they made. So real quick predictions before we go into the big topic of the day. Game 7, Philly, Boston, in Boston. I don't know what the score is right now.
8-5.
What's that?
8-5.
Okay. Who you guys have winning? I'll
Boston.
start with you, Mike.
Boston. It's in
All right,
Boston.
Josh.
I'm hoping that Boston wins, period, because I think Miami has a better matchup with Boston anyway.
Yeah, I'm the same thing. I wanted the Miami Boston rematch. I was definitely hoping for it. Looks like we really might get it. I do think at home court, Boston's probably going to take it. Like you said, I believe in Jaylen Brown. I think he's been the best guy there for a long time. And they're still not giving him the credit he deserves. So I think, again, this whole season for him, even up to this point, has been kind of a prove it season. Not for like a contract, more so just for himself, just again, establish his value as a player to that franchise. So I think Boston does have a lot more to prove. Again, Embiid, Harden, Maxey, that crew is definitely going to do their thing. But I do think that this is more of it's heavier on the Celtics to not win than it is for Philly. So I think just because of that, Boston's going to probably come out on top.
Boston has shown this year that they're a little weak. They had locker room problems last year, and they got through it. This year is not necessarily locker room problems, but I think it's a lack of accountability in that franchise for Boston. I want Philly. I've said I want Philly. I want PJ Tucker. Fuck you, PJ Tucker, but I still love you.
We all feel that way.
Yes. So I want Philly bad. I really want Philly bad, but I think the Miami Heat would have a better chance against Boston right now because they're not as strong. Now, should Philly lose, we might have a Monty Williams situation. I'm hearing Doc Rivers is going to be gone. I'm hearing James Harden has already got his bags packed and is going back to Houston. Okay, which is really shocking to me that James Harden would leave. What do you guys think about that?
It speaks to what he hasn't been known to be a guy to stick it out. I mean, you saw what happened in Brooklyn. I mean, you saw what happened on the way out from Houston. Right. I feel like at this point right now, they're just providing him the best situation. And there is a form of familiarity there. So it's probably just an easy transition for him. Anything else will probably cause all this other problem. So it's probably the easiest move for him.
Got it. Mike, what do you think about the Philadelphia 76ers as we know it kind of breaking up?
I mean, we're talking about the Eastern Conference Phoenix Suns then. We're going to sit here. We're talking about Monty Williams being let go. Well, Doc Rivers could be let go. Okay, we're going to talk about Chris Paul going, but we're going to talk about James Harden going. We're talking about DeAndre Ayton going. Like, okay, we're going star for star, right? Well, Embiid's going to be there. The man just won MVP, which I personally feel like I hate to say it, but we probably should have actually seen a three-peat in the MVP. We really should have. But give it to Embiid. The MVP award to me has been watered down so badly. I mean, it was clear back in the Nash years and even probably within years before that. But the MVP award is not what it should be. Embiid is good, don't get me wrong, but Jokic is carrying the Nuggets completely. So how can you not be an MVP in that state and have it 3 times in a row? It's just because they didn't want to give it to him 3 times in a row, in my opinion.
Right.
So because that MVP award is sitting there with him in Philly, they're going to continue to build around him. Harden would be gone first, etc. It would go on from there. I'd be interested to see how they rebuild. But I mean, yeah, I'm looking at, just like I said, the Eastern Conference Phoenix Suns. Let them break up, do whatever they're going to do, spread them out. If Harden goes back to Houston, look, the NBA is not afraid of James Harden anymore. I don't care what team it is. His Brooklyn years ruined him. When he was in Houston, he was dangerous. He was throwing up 50, 60 points, a game at times for multiple games in a row and getting triple doubles at an excessive rate. And so it's like, okay, you're actually, I'm not going to say that he's making Houston a contender. He's not going to make them a contender immediately when he goes back. But at least when he stepped on the court, like when I watched him here in Phoenix, my wife and I went to her first NBA game, and it was against the Rockets. And when we sat there, I walked in the game and I said, watch, James Harden is going to go off. and they didn't have a team, and they beat the Phoenix Suns. And they're all, and it wasn't even close. Like James Harden went out and performed. He had a fear factor when he stepped on the court with other teams. That's no longer there anymore, I don't feel. So he can go back to Houston. I think it's more of a situation that's like, hey, I'm going back to where I was really loved, and that's all it's going to be, because he has an issue with acceptance, I feel like, and so he's accepted in Houston. Go back to Houston, get your love, get your money. But you're not doing anything either way. Do what you do. It's all good. I said, I don't think that he is James Harden of what we used to know. So he can go.
There you have it.
All right. So we're going to do some NBA Finals prediction, because we're at the conference finals right now pretty much. So it looks like I know Mike's going to go with the Lakers over Denver. Josh, who do you have? Lakers or Denver?
I was going Lakers. Yeah.
Okay.
I think the Lakers are going to push through.
I'm going Lakers.
Okay.
I think me and Joshua are on the same side of saying that the Heat are going to beat whoever the fuck we play.
I'm there.
My biased side would definitely say that. Definitely would have said that. If I'm going to have to be unbiased and pick anyone else outside the Heat, yeah, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to Heat. Yep. Honestly, we seriously could beat either or.
Bubble rematch. And I'll say this, for anybody that has watched the NBA, felt that the bubble was a Disney clown championship, whatever. Guess what? This happens again. There is no excuses. There are no comments. There's nothing that has to ever go towards that type of a comment ever again.
It's the same teams. Since
exactly
the past 5 years, it's the same teams.
Exactly.
I'm shocked. When we beat New York the other night, like Mike made a joke about earlier, I put a post on Facebook. I don't even remember posting it because I was so drunk that night. I was so gone. I was like, Jesus Christ, I can't believe this shit. All right, let me pull it back in for a minute. Looks like we have a bubble rematch. All right. I'm going to throw it to Josh first, because me and Mike talked about it a little bit earlier. Josh, what were your first reactions to this Ja Morant story this morning?
I actually watched right before I watched the Kwame Brown video too. So I saw a picture of the video. I didn't see the actual video, so I saw it and I was just like, "There's no way. There's no way there's no way. Not again. Not after all of that. Not again." And then I started to do a little bit of digging. And I saw it, and I was like, okay. So it comes down to this. He's around people that do not care about him long term, right? Or just ingenuine. Like, they really don't care. They just care that he's probably providing or making the big bag right now for everybody. For you, it's fine to like guns. It's fine to own guns, right? But if you are getting a big check, millions and millions of dollars, and you know your employer is not into that kind of thing, then just don't record it, or don't, like, for someone to feel that it's okay to even do that, you already know, like, that's just not the type of people you should be around. So I personally think the only thing that's saving him right now, he's obviously very valuable to Memphis. He's the number one player over there. He's very talented. That alone is going to keep him in the league, but he's always going to have negotiation issues with money moving forward if this doesn't slow down, because they're always going to throw this in his face. So he's never going to be able to make that big supermax bag, because they're always going to be like, yeah, but this could be an issue. And he's literally Kwame said he's literally he's about to be the next Gilbert Arenas. Like, did we not learn from Gilbert? Did we not learn from Raymond Felton? Did we not learn from any of these guys? So that's what it's coming down to. So it's the ice is getting real thin for him. So again, he'll survive because of his skill and his value to that team franchise, but he's always going to have issues on the back end.
I'm going to throw this question to you, Mike. From the Grizzlies standpoint, where they said a week ago that they're not going to bring back Dylan Brooks under any circumstance, so they were going to make him the scapegoat for the season. And now a week later, here you go with Ja Morant again. How strongly do you think the Grizzlies come down on him now when they've already had a scapegoat and they thought that the coast was clear? Now here comes Morant again.
Well, my first beginning part of that answer is that I blame the Memphis Grizzlies organization for this even happening, right? Yes, Dylan Brooks was made as the scapegoat because Dylan Brooks didn't know how to shut up. I think Dylan Brooks brought a lot of attention to the team that they didn't want, and we're talking about more attention that is being brought to the team that the team doesn't want either. But when you have this happen the first time, this is why I like the phrase "do it right or do it twice," right? And this is the second time that this has happened. And if they had done it right the first time, this would have never happened. That's why I blame them for this to begin with. When you say, "Oh, he's only suspended 8 games," and he's the whole thing that we talked about with the soft apology, this, that, and the other, like it was all media push, right? He didn't learn a damn thing. He didn't learn a damn thing, and this is why you come down. If you're this against the situation, right? Being in the Memphis Grizzlies position, right? You say you're done for the season. This, you're suspended, whatever. You have to do things to prove yourself to get back on the court before we even let this even happen. They didn't do that. They went the soft route. So this is why I blame them. I blame the organization for setting the tone. I blame Ja Morant for who he keeps around him, right? But he didn't learn enough to begin with to not have to carry a gun on him by himself like this again. He should have never even thought minute 1 to pull out a gun for any reason, right? This is why you have bodyguards, stuff like that. Like, you should have people like that around you. It's like, let's take the NFL, Henry Ruggs. Henry Ruggs killed somebody, right? Yeah. Doing 100 miles an hour on a Las Vegas road, right? Why are Dante Stallworth? Same thing. You're on the Miami Highway, kill somebody, right? Why are these athletes not having drivers? Why is Ja Morant not having a bodyguard that can protect him? Why does he feel he needs to carry a gun on his own? If I'm in jeopardy of possibly losing contracts like Josh is talking about, which is 1,000,000% valid, that is going to set the tone for myself and the rest of my lineage. $196 million on a contract is absolutely crazy amount of money. But he has now hurt himself for further progression to make even more. So you're stopping from these dumb, small decisions that have massive impact on your life and people around you. Like, you're not thinking at that point. And when you're not thinking, the recognition of what drives that not thinking is very important. And we talked about this on the first time you did it. Arrogance and entitlement. And when you sit there and you add into that entitlement as the Memphis Grizzlies by not punishing him as hard as they could to begin with, this is what you get. This is what you get. And this is a problem with today's generation anyway. Today's generation walks out of the door saying, the world owes me everything. Right? The world revolves around me. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. The world doesn't revolve around anybody. And let me tell you, life is going to hand you a bowl of shit every single day. You're going to get through one challenge and you're going to have another challenge right after you. Ja Morant, don't bring those challenges on yourself. Be as humble as you can. When you're sitting there making that type of money, you're this talented and on a stage that only 400 plus people get to play on every year. It's a fraternity. You have a privilege. It is not a right to be in the NBA. If it were a right to be in the NBA, CL, me and you would be starting for the damn Chicago Bulls. You know what I'm saying? We would be starting for the Brooklyn Nets. We would be starting for all these teams that, bottom of the bag, whatever you want to call it. We would be good enough to play there. And look, I'm 200 plus pounds, 290 pounds, and I would never be able to step foot on court. But if it were a right, I'd be able to play. That's not the case. Understand where you're at. Understand what you have. Take that as a gift and accept it and be humble. Stop with this dumb shit. Get the people around from you that are around there. Get them out of your circle. Make your circle smaller than a decimal point and start protecting yourself in the way that's not going to put you into a bad position. And Memphis, I want to see you suspend him for a whole year no questions asked, because right now them talking about a suspension only brings up at the beginning of the season. Well, he went through all of his courses and his learning through the whole summer. This, that. We don't know what he's doing through the summer. No, this is a way to kind of sweep it under the rug. Let it start at the beginning of the season. But, bring the hammer down. It's time. It's time. And I hope all the NBA teams are looking at this and saying, how do we get people, like, if this is what we're going to get into for future players, this arrogance and this entitlement, how do we control that without even having it happen to begin with? Set the tone. Memphis, you have a great opportunity to set the tone right here.
What do you think, Josh? You think they suspend him for the year? Because this first couple things, this first suspension is bullshit. It's just for off-season activities, whatever. The NBA also supplies drivers. The NBA also supplies securities to their players at no extra cost. But do you think Memphis will, once this investigation is over with, do you think Memphis will now suspend him for the duration of the season, next season?
A message has to be sent. So, the thought of a year suspension, it doesn't sound as crazy when you consider that this is a second offense, right? And the NBA doesn't, they have a brand to uphold. They can't play certain games. I personally think that an example has to be set. I mean, we saw stuff like this happen before, in conversations of league. Carmelo tells a story about how, Stern. Yeah. He had a conversation with him and the NBA has access to certain types of investigations. So, I mean, this one around, it may not be as the last one was. So, again, I think a message, an example is going to have to be made. A message is going to have to be sent. So, a year, it doesn't sound as crazy. I don't think it'll be the whole season just because, they're thinking profit numbers and all that. I think it'll probably be around halfway, maybe even a quarter of a season. But I do agree that some sort of long-term suspension will happen. I don't know if it's going to be a year, though, just because of the overall outlook in the season, profit margins, just things of that sort.
Well, in that case, that's when you have to question, is money more important than the well-being of individuals? When you say revenue is driving the possibility of him not learning from a situation, if he doesn't learn from the situation and it ends up, third strike, you're out one way or another, because it's bound to happen again if they don't come down with a hammer on. So if it does happen again, who knows what will happen? It could be a more dangerous situation and it could end up with somebody losing their life. And at that point, how do you not feel responsible because you had the opportunity to change this kid's life? Yeah. But you didn't because of revenue.
I think Commissioner Silver let the Grizzlies handle it last time. I think he's going to step in and handle it this time. He's going to be judge, jury, and executioner, because I think a lot of eyes are going to be on him this time to kind of slow this kid down. So we are going to end there. Michael, tell the people where they can find you at.
You can find me Instagram, MichaelFranz0726. You can find me on Twitter, McCartney0726. Or you can find me Hardwood Nation. Just tag your boy in whatever messages, and we'll get responses going.
Josh, tell the people where they can find you at.
Y'all can find me working around at Doubted Views. That is DOUBTED Views. YouTube. I know they're doing a bunch of other platforms now. Rumble. I know Twitter is a main deal now. So you can check us out there. I'll be helping out. You may see me around. So.
We want to thank
when I can pop in, I'll be on Doubted Views as well. I haven't been on. I'll be on Doubted Views.
It's true. Trust me, it's changed. It's changed.
Hello, we want to thank everyone for liking and subscribing to our content and sharing our content. If you're a fan of the NBA, if you love what we do, if you love LeBron James, if you love the Miami Heat, drop some likes on us, share our content. Everyone be safe. We are out.